Atlanta is holding its breath tonight. What began as an ordinary jailhouse scuffle has spiraled into a chilling drama that feels ripped straight out of a true crime series. At the center of it all is King Harris, the son of rap icons T.I. and Tiny. Right now, King is fighting for his life in the intensive care unit, and his condition is so fragile that doctors describe it as hanging by a thread. Across social media, fans are asking one question: is this a tragic accident, or the result of something darker? A carefully planned attack meant to silence him. Inside the hospital, whispers are spreading among medical staff. Some claim his injuries look more like torture than a fight. Cuts, bruises, and internal trauma that don't line up with a typical altercation. Nurses have refused to leave his side, while doctors quietly warn of potential organ failure. Outside those hospital walls, Twitter and Instagram are flooded with hashtags like #PrayForKing and #JusticeForHarris. Yet the leaks make the situation even more sinister. Reports hint at masked figures sneaking into his hospital room, machines being tampered with, and cameras cutting out at suspicious times. Anonymous voices allege the order came from higher up, suggesting that King is not just fighting for survival, but against an entire system that wants him gone. The spotlight has always been unforgiving to children of celebrities. Every stumble is magnified, every mistake replayed endlessly. But for King Harris, the glare of fame feels more like a magnifying glass burning into his life. News that his condition had worsened in the ICU froze the internet. What was supposed to be just another tabloid-worthy jail incident has become a national conversation, leaving the Harris family in the darkest chapter of their lives. So how did this young man, raised in fame and privilege, end up in a hospital bed surrounded by machines? To understand, we have to rewind. It all began inside the jailhouse with an altercation that many assumed would be minor. King, who was already no stranger to controversy, reportedly got caught in a violent ambush. Insiders say this was no heat-of-the-moment fight. According to those close to the family, he was blindsided. One second he was in the common area, the next he was hit with fists, kicks, and chaos. Guards intervened far too late, and by then, King had already sustained injuries that were far worse than anyone expected. The internet's reaction only made things worse. Instead of sympathy, trolls created memes, gossip sites spun the story for clicks, and critics mocked him. For a 20-year-old already under intense public scrutiny, the humiliation was unbearable. But behind the memes was a harsh reality: King's condition was critical. Doctors discovered internal damage that went far beyond surface-level bruises. Within hours, he was transferred to a hospital and rushed into the ICU. For T.I., a man known for his resilience, the sight of his son lying unconscious and connected to life support shattered his toughness. Privately, he broke down, admitting this was the one battle he couldn't fight with money, fame, or influence. Tiny, King's mother, hasn't left the hospital. She stays at his bedside, whispering prayers and refusing to eat, consumed by fear. Family friends say she is determined to hold his hand through every procedure and test, no matter how grim the updates become. As the news spread, theories began flooding social media. Some claimed King's lifestyle and reckless choices had finally caught up to him. Others suspected foul play, linking the attack to old rivalries, gang connections, or even grudges against his father. Anonymous leaks added more fuel, painting a picture of corruption inside the jail. Some sources alleged guards allowed the ambush to happen, or worse, looked the other way intentionally. Doctors have warned the Harris family that the next 24 hours are critical. If King's body responds, there may be hope. If not, the consequences could be devastating. The Harris family waits in agony while the rest of the world debates his fate online. And this is where the story takes its darkest turn. Instead of rallying behind King, much of the internet has turned cruel. Memes mocking his ICU state, TikToks reenacting the fight, and hashtags joking about his condition have spread like wildfire. For some, King's pain is just entertainment. Yet, his supporters argue he is being unfairly vilified. Yes, he made mistakes, but he doesn't deserve violence, humiliation, or a death sentence. They remind people that he's barely out of his teens, still figuring life out under the crushing weight of fame. Then came the most chilling development: leaked audio allegedly recorded inside the jail. In the clip, muffled voices can be heard taunting King, threatening him, and laughing as chaos unfolds. Though the authenticity remains unverified, the recording suggests the attack may have been staged from the start. Some believe this proves the Harris family's claim that King was targeted deliberately, not randomly. Speculation has since exploded. Some point to jealous inmates wanting clout. Others suggest rival groups outside the prison orchestrated the attack to send a warning to T.I. The darkest theory claims King's outspoken behavior online may have drawn the attention of powerful enemies who wanted him silenced. Whatever the truth, the Harris family believes this was no coincidence. Tiny allegedly told a close friend, "Someone wanted to hurt my baby." T.I. has remained mostly silent, but insiders reveal he's been making phone calls, demanding answers, and quietly investigating who dared to harm his son. Meanwhile, hospital updates remain grim. King's body is weak, his internal injuries severe, and doctors continue to describe his condition as unstable. Every hour feels like a gamble. For T.I. and Tiny, it is an unending nightmare. Witnesses say T.I. has been pacing the hospital corridors, breaking down in tears, while Tiny stays glued to King's bedside. Their daughter even took to social media, begging fans to stop spreading rumors and to simply pray for her brother. But the internet remains divided. Half of it spreads conspiracies and cruel jokes, while the other half prays for a miracle. And that is where things stand tonight: King Harris unconscious in the ICU, a family shattered, and the world holding its breath. The cliffhanger is chilling. Was this a tragic accident, or a calculated takedown meant to silence him? And if the latter is true, who ordered it, and why? Rumors are spreading quickly that another video from inside the jail might surface soon. This clip is said to show the exact moment King Harris was attacked. If it comes out, it could either answer questions or completely destroy the family's reputation. Imagine if the footage proves King wasn't only a victim, but may have sparked the fight, or been caught in something darker. People online would tear him apart, leaving scars the Harris family may never recover from. But if it shows he was purposely targeted, it could expose a larger setup that goes far beyond jail walls. The internet is restless, refreshing timelines, searching hashtags, and waiting for the next drop of evidence. Some claim they've already seen fragments on hidden corners of the web, while others argue it's just hype with nothing real behind it. Regardless, one fact stands out: this nightmare isn't ending anytime soon. The silence from jail officials only makes things worse. Their refusal to share details convinces many that something is being covered up. Fans everywhere are asking the same questions: why won't they release the footage, and what are they hiding? Meanwhile, King's health is fragile. Doctors have warned his family that complications from internal bleeding could worsen at any time. He's shown small signs of response, but stability is far away. T.I., pacing hospital halls, was overheard saying, "If they wanted to break me, this is how you do it." But grief doesn't stop the internet. Fake videos, memes, and staged clips are spreading, with some YouTubers even making skits of King's last words just to gain views. The cruelty feels endless. Still, the debate rages on. Some critics argue King's downfall was inevitable, pointing to his history of fights, his reckless behavior online, and his attitude toward authority. For them, he wasn't only a victim, he was bound to end up in trouble. Others strongly disagree, saying mistakes shouldn't be a death sentence, and that the system failed to protect him. Then, the first shaky video leaks online. Only 7 seconds long, it shows King surrounded by inmates as fists fly and chaos erupts. That short clip was enough to split the internet into two camps. #Justice for King versus #King got what he deserved. The Harris family is shattered. Tiny pleads online, "This isn't entertainment. My baby is fighting for his life." But beyond the noise lies the real question: what does this say about us? About a culture that turns suffering into hashtags and tragedy into trending content. Whether King recovers or not, one thing is clear: his story has been consumed, dissected, and turned into entertainment. And the worst part? The full uncut video is rumored to drop any day now, promising to change everything once again.